Imagine graduating from college after 4 years, carrying tens of thousands of dollars in student debt, and finally getting ready to start your career. You send out your first application, then another, then another. Soon, you've sent dozens, then hundreds, and still nothing. No offer. Sometimes, not even an interview. You start wondering whether your degree was worth it, whether your skills are good enough, whether the problem is you. But here's the strange part. America isn't experiencing a traditional jobs crisis where companies are laying off everyone and shutting down businesses. Something much quieter is happening. Companies are becoming afraid to hire, and that could create a problem far bigger than unemployment. Because when companies stop hiring, the people who suffer first aren't always the workers who already have jobs. It's the people standing outside the door. And if that continues, millions of young people could find themselves in a strange position. They did everything they were told to do, go to college, get a degree, build skills, work hard, and still can't get their first real opportunity. But here's where the story gets interesting. Everyone wants to blame AI, and honestly, it makes sense. AI can write articles, generate images, analyze data, write code, answer customer questions, summarize documents, and perform tasks that once required human employees. So the obvious explanation seems simple. AI is becoming more capable, companies are adopting it, and humans are losing jobs. But there's a problem with that theory. If AI is already destroying the job market, why aren't we seeing massive layoffs everywhere? Why are so many companies still keeping their existing employees? And why would a company spend millions developing AI while still refusing to replace the people already working there? The answer leads to something much more complicated. Companies aren't necessarily replacing workers. They're waiting. And when companies stop hiring, the damage can spread through the economy without a single dramatic wave of layoffs. Think about the job market like a giant game of musical chairs. When the music is playing, people move. Workers leave bad jobs. Companies hire new employees. Graduates enter the workforce. Experienced workers move into better positions. People change careers. Businesses expand. The economy stays dynamic because people are constantly changing places. Now imagine the music suddenly slows down. Workers become nervous about quitting because they don't know whether they'll find another job. Companies become nervous about hiring because they don't know what the economy will look like 6 or 12 months from now. And graduates are left standing outside, waiting for someone to open a chair. This is why the job market can feel terrible, even without mass layoffs. A company doesn't have to fire thousands of people to make the economy painful. It can simply stop creating new opportunities. And hiring is a major commitment. A company has to advertise a position, review applications, conduct interviews, perform background checks, train the employee, pay their salary, and spend months waiting for them to become fully productive. Hiring is essentially a bet on the future. The company is asking, will we still need this person a year from now? And right now, many businesses don't know the answer. Technology is changing rapidly. AI could transform entire industries, but nobody knows exactly how quickly. Interest rates can change investment decisions. Global conflicts can disrupt markets and supply chains. Consumer spending can weaken. Government policies can shift. And companies don't like uncertainty. So instead of making a major commitment, many businesses choose the safest option, wait and see. But here's where things get dangerous. When companies stop hiring, workers stop moving. Someone who hates their current job may decide not to quit because finding another one feels too risky. Someone thinking about changing careers may stay where they are. A company may leave an open position unfilled. And a recent graduate may spend months sending applications into a market where hundreds of other people are competing for the same entry-level position. That creates a strange situation. The people who already have jobs can become more secure, but the people trying to enter the system become more vulnerable. And this problem doesn't stay inside the labor market. Imagine a 23-year-old graduate who can't find a job. They aren't just missing a paycheck. They may delay moving into their own apartment. They may postpone buying a car. They may delay getting married. They may avoid taking out a mortgage. They may stop spending money on things they would normally buy. Now multiply that individual decision by millions of people. Suddenly, this becomes an economic problem. Someone who is worried about losing their job may also become more cautious. They save more. they spend less. They delay major purchases. They avoid financial risks. And when millions of people become cautious at the same time, businesses feel it too. Less spending means less demand. Less demand makes companies more cautious. More caution leads to less investment. Less investment can mean fewer new jobs. And fewer jobs create even more uncertainty. It's a cycle. Uncertainty leads to less hiring. Less hiring creates more uncertainty. And more uncertainty makes everyone even more afraid to move. That's the real danger. The question isn't simply whether AI will replace your job. The bigger question is, what happens when companies become so uncertain about the future that they stop creating opportunities altogether? And AI could make that uncertainty even stronger. Imagine you're running a company. You need to hire 100 people. But at the same time, you're watching AI improve every few months. You don't know exactly what those employees will need to do 2 years from now. You don't know whether AI will make some of their tasks easier, eliminate some of their responsibilities, or completely change the position. So you hesitate, not because AI has already replaced the worker, but because you're wondering whether you should make a long-term commitment to that worker at all. That distinction matters. AI doesn't have to eliminate millions of jobs today to influence the job market. The possibility of AI can change decisions today. And if companies continue making those decisions, the consequences could become much larger. Young people may start questioning whether college is worth the cost. Workers may stay in jobs they hate because leaving feels too risky. People may become less willing to start businesses. Companies may become less willing to experiment. And an economy built around people constantly moving toward better opportunities could slowly become an economy where everyone is simply trying to protect the position they already have. That's why the unemployment rate alone doesn't tell the whole story. Sometimes the biggest economic problems aren't visible in one dramatic statistic. Sometimes they're hidden inside millions of small decisions. A company delays a hire. A worker decides not to quit. A graduate postpones moving out. A family delays buying a house. A business postpones expansion. None of these decisions looks catastrophic on its own. But when millions of people make them at the same time, the entire economy begins to behave differently. And that's what makes this moment so unusual. It isn't necessarily one giant economic collapse. It's thousands, perhaps millions, of quiet decisions happening simultaneously. People looking at the future and saying, maybe I'll wait. And the longer everyone waits, the harder it becomes for the economy to move forward. Because a healthy economy depends on movement. Workers need to be able to leave bad jobs. Young people need a path into the workforce. Businesses need to take risks. Companies need to invest in people. Consumers need enough confidence to spend. And when all of that slows down at once, an economy can become less dynamic without ever experiencing one dramatic collapse. That may be the real story behind the changing job market. Not simply that AI is taking jobs, but that uncertainty about AI, the economy, and the future could make companies think twice before creating the next one. So the next time you hear someone say AI is taking all the jobs, remember that the real story may be more complicated. The biggest threat might not be millions of jobs disappearing overnight. It could be a labor market where fewer people are willing to move, fewer companies are willing to hire, and an entire generation is forced to wait longer for an opportunity. And that leaves us with one uncomfortable question. If you were graduating today, would you still believe that getting a degree, working hard, and building skills is enough to guarantee a good career? Tell me what you think in the comments. And if you want more simple breakdowns of the economic, technological, and geopolitical forces reshaping the world, subscribe to Inside Empires. Because the biggest changes in the world don't always happen with a bang. Sometimes, they happen quietly. One decision, one company, one worker, and one opportunity at a time.